नमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। या कुन्देन्दु तुषारहार धवला या शुभ्रवस्त्रावृता या वीणावरदण्डमण्डितकरा या श्वेतपद्मासना या ब्रह्माच्युतशङ्करप्रभृतिभिर्देवैः सदा वन्दिता सा मां पातु सरस्वती भगवती निःशेषजाड्यापहा। ॐ समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। हरि ओम, salutations to one and all, and Shubh Vasant Panchami to all of you. Very auspicious day, and we worship Mother Saraswati today. The tradition is that we worship Mother Saraswati, but it is also said that on this day, because Vasant Ritu is supposed to begin and Kamadev is supposed to be the deity, so the Grahasthas also worship Rati and Kamdev. That also there is a tradition in our country, but the most popular one is the worship of Mother Saraswati. Today we will see a few verses of the Sharada Stotram in the satsang, and then we will do the puja. There is some problem. I think many people are not able to get into the session. Um, just give me 1 minute. There is some technical issue I have to just sort out. Okay. I think now people are able to come in. Yes. So I was saying that we will take up some verses of the Sharada Stotram. In the group, we had sent out the Sharada Stotram, the WhatsApp group we had put out. In that, there is a Sharada Stotram. So you can use that. The first shloka of that. Namaste Sharade Devi काश्मीरपुरवासिनी त्वामहं प्रार्थये नित्यं विद्यादानं च देहि मे. So the simple meaning is Namaste Sharade Devi. Salutations to Mother Sharada. Where is she from? Kashmir Puravasini. Her abode is Kashmir. Tvam aham prarthaye nityam. Oh Mother Sharada, I worship you continuously. Vidya danam cha dehime. Please give me the boon of knowledge, or the dan, actually the charity of knowledge. Now that's a simple meaning. So mother is called as Sharada. One of the meanings is that she is the one who is worshipped just before the Sharad Rutu starts. During the Navratri, the Ashwin Navratri, the mother is worshipped in the last 3 days. Just before the Sharad Rutu starts, she is worshipped, so she is called Sharada. That is one meaning. And Kashmira Puravasini, she is the one who stays, whose abode is Kashmir. See, this is one thing that we have forgotten. Many aspects of this is that Kashmir itself was the land of ours, the Sanatan Dharma followers. There is Kashmir Shaivism. Saraswati Devi's abode is in Kashmir. Kashyap Rishi is supposed to have started Kashmir. The lake is there. So when we say Kashmira Puravasini, as a deity also Mother Saraswati's abode, Kashmir it is. The Sarvajna Pitha was there in Kashmir. And it is said there are 64 steps to symbolize the 64 kalas, the 64 fields of knowledge. And 4 gates were there. And different gates, different schools of philosophy, and many great scholars try to ascend the Sarvajna Peeth, the throne of omniscience. But it was Shankaracharya ji who finally ascended that, defeating all the various schools of philosophy, establishing the glory of Advaita. If you read the wanderings, the writings of Taponji Maharaj also has gone to Kashmir and the Sharda temple. It was in quite a dilapidated state, but he has been there. Today it is very, very painful. The way it is, that whole place is desecrated so badly. But it is the abode of Mother Saraswati. One is as a deity. So the historians, they say, see, this is what is beautiful. One quote I'm going to share here. For ages, Kashmir has been the center of Sharada worship, where the goddess Saraswati may be seen in the form of a swan in a lake on the peaks of the Bheda mountain, which is hallowed by the rise of the Ganga. This is the quote of Kalhana, who extols Kashmir in Rajatarangini. And it is said that here in Kashmir, the goddess appeared in a lake in the form of a swan to bless sage Shandilya. And so in the past, Kashmir was known as Sharda Peeth or Sharda Mandala, after the famous temple of Mother Sharada. And where was this temple? On the mountain to the north, near the confluence of the Saraswati with the Kishan Ganga. The exact location is on the Madhumati, a tributary of the Saraswati. How beautiful is that? Saraswati as the river also, the origins are from Kashmir. And Saraswati as the deity, her mandir also is on the banks of a tributary of the river Saraswati. How beautiful. And today we have lost all that. Saraswati river, because of tectonic changes, has become very, very, scant. It was the largest river in the Vedic times. More than 72 references of Mother Saraswati as a river are there in the Veda. And it was supposed to be so large at some places, more than 20 kilometers in width. The greatest river of our country was Saraswati River, and the entire Vedic culture has grown on the banks of Saraswati. So if some people ask you that, in when we were in the school, they used to ask us, the oldest Indian civilization is what? So everybody say Indus Valley civilization. Even today, many people will reply Indus Valley civilization, and maximum will say Mohenjo-daro, Harappa. But we have not been taught that the Indus Valley was the remnant of the Saraswati civilization. More than 2,500 sites of Indus Valley are on the banks of Saraswati River, not on the Indus. So our culture, the most ancient living culture even today, is the Saraswati Sindhu civilization. And that is the glory of our culture, more than 10,000 years old culture. And so it is said that earlier many pilgrims also from far and wide used to come to visit the temple there. Then, of course, there are the Afridis who have attacked and destroyed this temple. And there were people who have tried to revive this also. The kings of Kashmir, they tried to revive it also. So it is said that, and this is written by Abu Fazl. He is the chronicler in the court of Akbar. So he writes that, the Afridis and the other tribes, they desecrated the temple and pulled down the structure. Then the new structures were established during the Dogra rule. Maharaja Gulab Singh, he renovated the temple, arranged for proper worship, etc. Now this temple is near the border, India-Pakistan border. And it is said that Shankaracharya ji also, Al-Biruni, he says that the wooden idols of Sharada, one of the most famous idols in Hindustan, is written by Al-Biruni in his works. And when he saw the Mother Sharada's mandir there, this wooden idol was there, carved out of sandalwood. And they say that Shankaracharya ji had installed it. The original temple had a Shri Yantra, and Shankaracharya ji is said to have established in that place a wooden temple, wooden idol. And when he ascended that temple there in Kashmir, Shankaracharya ji prayed to the Divine Mother and said, please come to the south. And Shankaracharya ji established the temple in Sringeri also. And there, Sringeri also, Shankaracharya ji established a Shri Chakra and the Murti of Mother Saraswati in Sringeri. And later on, it is said Swami Vidyaranya installed the present Panchaloha idol and the Shri Yantra in gold, replacing those that Shankaracharya ji had established. So this is very beautiful, that our heritage we should know and we have to reclaim. That's our land. And people today say that it's all right, it belongs to other people, let them take it, so what difference does it make? This is our glorious heritage. So she, as a river, as the deity, also her abode was, Kashmir was her abode, Kashmirapura Vasini. As a river also, it is said, her sparkling waters are sweet like honey, rich in food-giving properties. And Saraswati moved majestically like a chariot. The very meaning of the word Saras means water, and it means to flow. And grand is the flow of the Mother Saraswati. See, as a river also, it is said her eminent position in the Vedas led to the creation of Saraswan, a male counterpart. He was the guardians of water in the Rig Veda. And one very interesting thing, Saraswati Devi is the only Devi who is worshipped in all the 4 Vedas. No other Devi is worshipped in all the 4 Vedas. Saraswati is the only Devi. And so, in the oldest one, Rig Veda itself, she is a very, very prominent river, and a very beautiful expression for her is Ambitame Devi Tame Nadi Tame. O Mother Ambitame, Devi Tame as a deity, Mother Saraswati, and Nadi Tame, the best of the rivers. So best of the mothers, best of the rivers, best of the deities is Saraswati. So Namaste Sharade Devi, Kashmir Puravasini. Tvamaham Prarthaye Nityam Vidya Dhanam Cha Dehime. Now, one very interesting and less known fact about Mother Saraswati is that she is also a deity who is a goddess of war. Generally, we don't associate Mother Saraswati with war. She is deity of knowledge, there is no doubt. But when required, she becomes the deity who can fight also. So, it is said that war and fertility are two major traits described in the Vedas. She is an aerial goddess, as seen in the riches pertaining to her. And she had two capabilities. One is to pour rain, and other is to do extraordinary feat. Balakriti it is called, yes. And she killed also this Vritra, the son of Brishaya. And it is said that she possesses the weapon Vajra. These are all mentioned in the Veda. One Sukta mentions that she was so powerful that even the gods approached her on their knees. In the sixth mandala of the Rig Veda, there is a change in the character of the goddess, and she is a war goddess, feared by the gods and bringing death to the enemies. She is called Ghora Saraswati and is invoked at the beginning of wars, just like Indra, to gain access to the booty of the enemy and also for protection. Now see how strange it is. She was also a war goddess, invoked to destroy enemies, and the enemies of ours have destroyed her temple only, because we have only limited the knowledge has not empowered us. It has made us weak, unfortunately. Knowledge should empower us. So this is the first shloka. Namaste Sharade Devi Kashmira Puravasini Tvamaham Prarthaye Nityam. I eternally pray to you. For what? Vidya Danam Cha Dehime. Please bless me. Give me the charities. Just like when we go for Dan, we ask with humility. Please give. Like that one prays, oh mother, please bless me with knowledge. Vidya Dadati Vinayam. Knowledge must give humility, as well as humility is required for knowledge. Amanitvam, Adambhitvam. Both are very, very crucial. So now, that is the first shloka. That we seek knowledge from her. Why? See, she can bless with prosperity also, fertility also, strength also. But the seeker here asks for knowledge, because Jnanena evatu kaivalyam. Only through supreme knowledge one can attain moksha. And even in the world, knowledge is great power. And today we live in a knowledge era, in the knowledge era. So we know what is the power of knowledge. If earlier if earlier we have gone through the colonization, which was at the physical level, today it is digital colonization. Today it is information technology wise colonization. Knowledge plays a very, very crucial role. So this is the first shloka. Namaste Sharade Devi Kashmira Puravasini Tvamaham Prarthaye Nityam Vidya Danam Cha Dehime. Now to get knowledge, we must have certain qualities. The second shloka tells about that. Ya Shraddha Dharana Medha Vagdevi Vidhi Vallabha Bhakta Jihvagra Sadhana Shamadhi Gunadayini. So Saraswati Devi is called as, she is the embodiment of Shraddha. Ya Shraddha, faith. Dharana, retention. Medha, intuitive intelligence. Ya Shraddha, Dharana, Medha. Vagdevi, the deity of speech. And Vidhi Vallabha, who is dearest to Brahmaji, or the consort of Brahmaji. and Bhakta Jihvagra Sadana, who resides on the tip of the tongue of the devotee. And she is the one who blesses everybody with Shatka Sampatti, Shamadhi Gunadayini, Shama, Dhamma, Uparama, Tiriksha, Shraddha, Samadhan. Now that is simple meaning. Now, what does this shloka mean? First and foremost, to gain knowledge, we need Shraddha. In the Gita, Bhagavan says, Shraddhavan labhate jnanam. See, this is about Paravidya, absolute truth, the knowledge of the absolute reality, Supreme Brahman. For that, we need Shraddha in the Guru, Shraddha in the Shastra, then Shraddha in the Lord, of course, and Shraddha in oneself, that I can also discover that. Even in the world, we must have Shraddha. Those people who say that, we don't have any faith, we are logical people. Gurudev used to define faith as belief reinforced with conviction is faith. And that conviction comes through logic and experience. So it's not that faith is blind. Faith is never blind. Faith actually is an intellectual quality. Using logic and experience, our belief transforms into faith. And when we have faith in something that we don't see, but we have faith in that, we will experience that. Then faith has fulfilled itself. So we will see one clip of Puja Gurudev on faith. Very beautiful, simple faith, a simple clip, but for us Gurudev is the Saraswati. And Vasanta Panchami day, we should listen to Gurudev. So here we are.
Shraddha is faith. Everyone in the world has got belief. But a couple, almost a couple or 4 or 5 people has got faith. Every one of us has got belief. Even the atheist has got belief in something beyond. He may not accept it as God, but he will have to say a supreme intelligence is behind the universe. Because he did not make this universe, nor did his father or his mother. Thus everybody has got belief, but not faith. Belief is emotional. I believe in God. It is emotion. Emotional belief will break when more than one or few tragedies come one over the other. Your business going down, your partner wants to separate, your wife's sick, son had an accident, 3, 4 tragedies together come. All your belief oozes out. You may even throw away the cross, the crescent, or the Krishna, the symbol of the Lord whom we have been worshipping and adoring. You throw it through the window. In another 1 week's time, wife is all right, business is picking up, partner doesn't want to go, things have become normal, then the belief comes back again. On the other hand, if it is a faith in you, the faith that moves mountains, the more lashes from the outer world comes to you, the more you hold on to what you have faith in. So believe every one of you are God. You have to develop it into a faith. How will you do it? Belief, Vishwas, when reinforced with understanding, it grows to become a faith. I believe in communism is one thing. I have faith in it is totally a different one. If it is only a belief in a political ideology, the moment the police or the FBI comes, it says, no, I am just a student, that is all. You compromise. But if it is a faith in a philosophy, the more you are crushed, the more you hold on to that faith carefully. You must have faith in the higher reality. How will I get it? By the study of the scriptures. Scriptures are the only textbooks that expound the nature of the reality. And with that understanding, when it becomes clearer and clearer, your belief grows to become a faith. Shraddhavan labhate jnanam. One who has mere belief in the Upanishads or the scriptures is not sufficient. It must become a faith with you. Therefore, the entire mind as well as the intellect gets involved in the search. The search is possible only after seeking the knowledge. At this moment you are studying the Bhagavad Gita, you are seeking what the reality is. Thereafter comes your faith, your search for the reality, and the search cannot be steady if your faith is not strong.
So that is Shraddha, the belief which becomes stronger when adversities come, that transforms, that belief which transforms into faith. Faith becomes more and more stronger with adversities and is a prerequisite for knowledge. So Mother Saraswati is the embodiment of Shraddha. So the seekers prays that, "Oh Mother, bless me also with Shraddha." With Shraddha, one has to listen to the Guru, whether it's in secular knowledge or in spiritual knowledge. Even in secular knowledge, can we test everything? No, we have to have faith that what the teacher is saying is true. We can't go around testing everything that we listen, every theorem in maths or science or everything that we learn in biology or botany or any such thing. We have to have faith. So Ya Shraddha. So with Shraddha we listen. Then Dharana. We must have the ability to retain what we learn also. Not that with 1 year we listen, the other year it goes out, it doesn't retain at all. Here, empty. Not that way. One must be able to retain it. Ya Shraddha Dharana. So Dharana is not just remembering. Dharana is the ability to understand properly and then retain it. Not just remembering for the as an informative knowledge. Remembering with understanding, that is called Dharana. Dharayati, no? So Dharana. Ya Shraddha Dharana. So with faith, when we listen, then what we listen, we retain. What we retain, when we reflect on it more and more and more, it will become Medha. Intuitive intelligence it will become. And that intuitive intelligence will bring insight also. So this is the process of knowledge gaining actually. When we listen with faith, retain it with understanding, reflect deeply on it, it transforms that information into an intuitive insight. That is the assimilation process, Medha. And having assimilated, meaning not only the intuitive insights arise, one is able to apply in the life also. So if it is secular knowledge, suppose let us say accounts, one is able to gain the knowledge, one is able to understand and retain. And then when we are able to understand it deeply, process it, then intuitive insights, they come. Whether it's accounts or law, law or any field, science, maths, any field, the intuitive grasp will come of that subject. Then one is able to apply in the field. So ya shraddha, dharana, medha, all the three are very important. That is how information becomes insight. And then we can communicate also. Share it with others. Vak Devi. These are 4 steps of knowledge. Listen with faith, retain with understanding, reflect and transform it into insight, and then share with others. Especially spiritual knowledge. Swadhyaya pravachanabhyam na pramaditavyam. We should study and share. No postponement in both these. That capacity, see, not everybody has all the 4. Some people have 3. Not everybody is a great communicator. Here the prayer is, oh mother, you are embodiment of all the 4, bless me with all the 4. In a modern context, if we want to explain, that is what a computer also does or not. Computer takes the inputs, whether it is through keyboard or through camera, it takes the inputs. Then it goes into the RAM, that is retaining with understanding. And then it will process it, that is medha. And then it will give an output, Vak Devi. Just broadly I am saying, but the point to understand is these are 4 steps of knowledge, beautiful steps. So ya shraddha, dharana, medha, Vak Devi, Vidhi Vallabha. She is the consort of Brahmaji. Now there are so many different legends about Saraswati Devi. In some places she is the daughter of Brahmaji, and in some places she is the wife of Brahmaji. There are many legends which are there. And what some of the legends are very, I'm just going to share a few of them here. The point to understand is that in different kalpas, in different time periods, different things, the great rishis, they experience or the intuitive realization they have, and so they write. And so we find different expressions will be there. So we don't have to say that, oh, which one is correct. They will be different based on different kalpas. Our culture has, it doesn't limit itself to one creation. Many cycles of creation, many things are there. And so we find that it is said about Saraswati Devi that, see here, one legend which comes here is this. So they say that in Pradhanyaka Rahasya, Pradhyanika Rahasya of Devi Mahatmyam, she is said to be created by Mahakali. During Navratri, when we did satsang, that time we saw Mahasaraswati is a manifestation of Mahakali. That's on Devi Mahatmya. Then she is a wife of Brahmaji in Matsya Puran and Skanda Puran. She is the daughter of Vishnu Bhagwan in Skanda Puran, and his wife in Bhavishya and Devi Bhagavat Puran. And she is Ghora Saraswati, what we just saw in the Rig Veda. In Brahmanda Purana, she is one of the Matrikas, accompanying goddess Lalita in her battle with Bhandasura. Vayu Puran speaks of her as one with a loud roar, Mahanada. And she is also equated as Ila the Vedic triad of Ila, Bharati, and Saraswati, they have transformed into Durga, Lakshmi, and Saraswati. And so, different Puranas like this give different legends about Saraswati. In this shloka, it is said she is the consort of Brahmaji, Vak Devi Vidhi Vallabha. Now, very interesting thing about Saraswati is that in the Veda, she is known as Vak Devi. She is not known as Saraswati in the earliest Veda, in the beginning. Ghora, Saraswati, etc. comes later, but she is known as Vak. So that part I'm going to just share here now. She is called as Mantra Rupa Vak. She is of the nature of the subtle form of the mantras. Her before the physical form, she exists in the subtle form as the Mantra Rupa Vak, who in the Brahmana portion of the Veda becomes the goddess of speech. And it is said that the Vak mantras became identified later on with the river Saraswati. So she is considered the deity of Vak, and it is said celestial speech whispered in the atmosphere was beyond human comprehension. Saraswati roamed over the celestial areas in lonely grandeur. This is the atmospheric speech or Vak. See what this means, I'll tell you. In later Vedic religion, Saraswati is identified with the principle of transcendental speech. She is the goddess presiding over knowledge and all spoken word. So what we understand here is this: Vedic mantras, they exist. Like how today radio waves exist. In the same way, our scriptures and even great Mahatmas, they have said that the Vedic mantras exist as subtle vibrations. That is what is called the atmospheric speech. It is in Sukshma Roop. The rishis who quieten their mind, they are able to them the mantras reveal as they are. That's why they are in this form. So when we say Vishwamitra Rishi discovered Gayatri Mantra, so it is not that Vishwamitra Rishi had an insight and then he wrote it in the form of the mantra Om Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. No. He meditated, made his mind quiet, and Gayatri Devi manifested also, and the mantra also is revealed to him as it is. Just like today when we tune up our, radio receiver, or right now like we are, we tune up two instruments, let us say through Bluetooth, wireless technology, all that. So when we tune up, then we are able to pass on the information. So in the same way, Saraswati, who was in the celestial regions, meaning who was in the Sukshma Roop, then manifested as mantras to these great rishis. And then through the capability of language, comprehension of the language, then it was written down and then communicated to everyone else. Also, Vagdevi means she is the deity of speech, which is classified into 4 aspects: Para, Pashyanti, Madhyama, and Vaikhari. Vaikhari is the word that we speak. The words which we use, the language which we use to communicate is Vaikhari. Madhyama is the thought. Pashyanti is subtler than thought, like a sankalpa, which is not yet manifested in thought concretely. It's just a sankalpa. And para is subtler than that also. It is supposed to be unmanifest. Para. Para, Pashyanti, Madhyama, Vaikhari. She is the deity of all. And this is the grossification from the para to the written or spoken word. She is the deity of all the 4. And that's why Vagdevi Vidhi Vallabha. She is Vagdevi, she is the consort of Brahmaji. Bhakta Jihvagra Sadhana, she dances on the tip of the tongue of the devotees. You know, Gangeshwaranandji Maharaj, great sannyasi, a great Mahatma, great Vedic scholar, and he lived for more than 100 years. So, in his honor, in his 100th year, Pujya Gurudev, he did a yajna in Mumbai. And Gangeshwaranandji Maharaj told one of his devotees, "Why are you sitting here in front of me? Go to the place where Swami Chinmayananda is giving discourses. Saraswati is dancing on his tongue. Go and listen to him." See, Gangeshwaranandji, a great Mahatma, when he gives like that a compliment to Gurudev, that means something. If we say that Gurudev's great oratorical skill is something different, but a Mahatma like Gangeshwaranandji saying that, you know, Saraswati is dancing on his tongue, go and listen. Bhakta Jihvagra Sadhana. And Shamadhi Guna Daini. She is the one who blesses the devotees with the qualities of Shama, peace of mind, calmness of mind, Dhamma, control of the senses, Uparama, ability to withdraw, Titiksha, forbearance, Shraddha, faith, and Samadhan, absorption. All these six, she is the one who blesses the devotee with that. So, Shamadhi Guna Daini. Then, the third shloka. Namami Yaminim Natha Lekha Lankrita Kuntalam Bhavanim Bhavasantapa Nirvapana Sudha Nadim. So it is said, Namami, I bow down to her who has the earrings which are adorned by the shine of the moonlight. Yaminim Natha. Yamini means night. Natha means the Lord, means the moon. One whose earrings are adorned by the shine of the moonlight, meaning her earrings shine like the moonlight. To that mother Bhavani, who destroys this ocean of samsara. She is the nectar river, Nirvapana Sudha Nadim. She is the river of nectar which will destroy this Bhavasantapa, the scorching fire in which we are burning in this samsara. Bhavasantapa. So that is the simple meaning of this. What does this mean? Earrings are shining with the moonlight as though. Which means that when we hear, see, moon is symbolic of coolness, calmness. When we listen, our mind must be cool and calm. With a disturbed mind, if we listen, we can't get inside the knowledge. The knowledge won't retain inside. So what was said earlier as dharana, with a quiet mind, when we listen attentively, is very beautiful. Attention and retention, they go together. Our ability to retain is directly proportional to our attention. Retention is directly proportional to attention. How much attention we pay, that much we listen and retain. With single pointedness, completely open mind, calm mind, when we listen, it will just go inside. So one meaning is listen with a calm mind. Namami Yaminim Natha Lekha Lankrita Kuntalam. She is called Bhavani. Bhavani is the wife of the Supreme Lord, Bhava, meaning the creator of this whole universe, the consort of that, meaning here she is worshipped as the Maya Shakti of that Supreme Brahman, who makes that Brahman appear as Ishvara, who makes that Brahman, which is infinite, appear as the creator, sustainer and destroyer, from whom nothing has happened actually. In Brahman there is no change, there is no creation. But when we see creation, then we say, how is that possible? Then Brahman has become Ishvara using the power of Bhavani. One who makes things possible. Bhava means to be. In this Maya Panchakam, Shankaracharya ji wrote very beautifully. He said, Aghatita ghatana patiyasi Maya. That which has never happened, Maya is an expert in making that happen. The creation never came into being, but we are seeing the creation. So how it is possible? Bhavani. That inscrutable power of the Supreme Brahman is Maya, who makes the impossible possible, who makes the infinite appear as the finite, the changeless appear as the changing. And when this happens, we are identified so much with the change, with our body, so much of santapa. She is the one who helps us to remove that santapa also by blessing us with the knowledge of Supreme Brahman. So this second line is Avidya Maya and Vidya Maya together. Avidya Maya makes us suffer in this world. That is called Bhava Santapa. And Nirvapana Sudha Nadi means the Vidya Maya. Through that knowledge, all our Santapa goes away, all our sense of emptiness, all that gets destroyed. So she is the one to whom the seeker worships and says, Oh mother, I am suffering in this samsara. Enough I had. Now please lift me out of this. You are the river of nectar which can put off this agitation of samsara that I am going through. Bhavanim Bhava Santapa Nirvapana Sudha Nadim. Bhadrakalyai Namo Nityam Saraswatyai Namo Namaha Veda Vedanga Vedanta Vidyasthanebhya Evacha. So she is Bhadrakali. Now, the moment we see Bhadrakali, we think, some war goddess with lot of weapons in hand and all that, because Kali brings that into our mind. But here the word is Bhadrakali, one who is most auspicious. Bhadrakali. Salutations to her. And who is Nityam Bhadrakali, who is always auspicious. Even in her Ugra Rupa, in her Ghora Rupa, she is auspicious. She destroys the evil tendencies. Now, Kali does not mean only Kali as the Mother Kali, but Kali also is Kala, means time. So, Bhadrakala is the auspicious, beautiful form of the Mother, who is always eternally auspicious, and also as a form of knowledge. Knowledge is always auspicious to us when we use it, especially this Brahma Vidya. The most auspicious of knowledge is Brahma Vidya, and she is Brahma Vidya Swarupini. So Bhadrakalyai Namo Nityam. Salutations to you. And it is here again that she is the goddess who blesses people with whatever they seek. So it is said here in the Atharva Veda, Saraswati along with Sinivali is requested to bless the womb of the bride with fecundity. She has the power to bestow personal wealth and progeny. She soothes sick infants. Along with goddess Sinavali, she is invoked in the Garbhadhana ritual. Garbham Dehi Sinivali, Garbham Dehi Saraswati. She is invoked with Vishnu in the Saptapadi rituals of the wedding. All these indicate her position as a mother, goddess connected with fertility and birth. And since the goddess is connected with material prosperity, she is associated with Pushti, the god of abundant nourishment. So in Taittiriya Brahmana, she is called Pushti Patni. So now, and she is also in certain other portions also called as the consort of the Ashwins, the Ashwini Kumars. So she is a fertility goddess and her assistance is sought to bless the womb with progeny. So now this is how she becomes Bhadra. Whatever one seeks, if one seeks highest knowledge, she can bless, that is the most auspicious. If one seeks progeny, one seeks wealth, she will bless with all these. So Bhadrakalyai Namo Nityam, Saraswatyai Namo Namaha. she is called Saraswati. Saras means water, Saras means to flow. And very beautiful meaning of this is connected to knowledge. That knowledge is eternally available. It is just that we tune out or we zone out. It's like the radio waves are always there. We tune in, then we get the channel. We tune out, the channel is not there. We are listening to something else, or we shut off the radio. But radio waves are always there. Same way, Vedic knowledge, that's why it's called Anadi and Ananta. It is beginningless and endless. Even today, when we say that only 10% of the Veda is available to us, 90% we have lost. We have lost from our human comprehension. We have lost in the form of language, written language, written mantras. It is still available. And rishis, when they meditate, earlier it was, I think in last century, it was one person called Daivarata, to whom lot of these mantras were revealed again, and he wrote them down. And many scholars confirmed, yes, these are the missing mantras. So knowledge is always available. Saraswati means that, who is eternally flowing. That's why the word is Nityam. Adrakalyai namo Nityam. Saraswatyai namo Nityam. Knowledge is Nitya. Auspiciousness is Nitya. And that is why the next line says Veda, Vedanga, Vedanta. Vidyasthanebhya evacha. This is called Chaturdasha Vidyasthan in our culture. 4 Vedas, 6 Vedangas. Shiksha, Kalpa, Nirukta, Jyotisha, Chandasa, and Vyakarana. These are 6 Veda Angas, the limbs of the Veda, which we should study to understand what is the Veda. And 4 Upavedas: Ayurveda, Dhanurveda, Gandharva Veda, Sapatya Shastra. Sometimes they add Artha Shastra also with that. This is called Chaturdasha Vidyasthan. And the purpose of the study of all this is what? Vedanta. To realize the oneness of the Jiva Ishvara. That is the ultimate purpose, and that is the most auspicious. So Veda, Vedanga, Vedanta, Vidyasthanebhya evacha. Mother Saraswati is the abode of knowledge in whom all these reside. She is that great goddess of knowledge. So that is the 4th shloka. Then the 5th one. Brahmaswarupa Parama Jyotirupa Sanatani Sarva Vidyadhideviya Tasyai Vanyai Namo Namaha. Brahmaswarupa, who is of the very nature of Supreme Brahman, of Jyoti Rupa, she is of the nature of light of consciousness. Sanatani, who is eternal. This is the Adhyatmic Rupa of Saraswati as consciousness within us. Brahmaswarupa Parama, Brahmaswarupa of the nature of Brahman, Parama, who is supreme, Jyoti Rupa of the nature of effulgence. And we feel her in our heart as Aham, 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 Sanatani. That I am, that will never get destroyed. That existence never becomes non-existent. So that is the form of Brahman, of Saraswati as Brahman in our heart. Sarva Vidyadi Deviya, and she is the presiding deity of all knowledge. Tasyai Vanyai Namo Namaha. Salutations to that Mother Saraswati, who is the deity of speech. Yaya Vina Jagat Sarvam Shashvan Jivan Mritam Bhavet Jnanadhi Devi Tasyai Saraswatyai Namo Namaha. Yaya Vina Jagat Sarvam. This whole universe, without her presence, this pulsating dynamic universe, Mritam Bhavet, it will be lifeless. She is the very life, existence, consciousness, bliss, which enlivens everything in the universe. That is Saraswati. Without her presence, everything would be inert, Jadavastu. Also, this means that she is the one who enlivens our mind also, subtle body. The process of death is what? Separation of the subtle body from the gross body is called death. If subtle body goes out of the gross body of the living beings, that gross body will drop dead. She is of the form of that consciousness which enlivens the subtle body, because of which the expression of life is seen in the world. Like that tungsten filament is there in the bulb, so light is there. If the tungsten filament breaks, then even if electricity passes, light will not come. Same way, subtle body has that capability to reflect light, reflect consciousness as life. She is the nature of subtle body, and it is subtle body, man, buddhi, chitta, ahankar, because of which we gain knowledge. Senses by themselves cannot function until the mind backs it up. So until subtle body is not there in the gross body, the senses don't function. So she is of the nature of that knowledge, and she empowers our subtle body. Apart from being existence which empowers everything, she is that which empowers subtle body also. And hence Jnanadi Deviya. So here Jnanadi Devi means that which empowers our mind and our senses to function. That consciousness, Tasyai Saraswatyai Namo Namaha. Yaya vina jagat sarvam mukamunmattavat sada ya devi vagadhishthatri tasyai vanyai namo namaha. Without whose presence and her grace, this whole world would be dumb. Mukam. She is the deity of speech. And imagine the world without speech. Human being has this special capacity of speaking and language, and so many things happen because of that language and communication. No doubt other creatures also communicate in their own ways, but the Vagadhishthatri, see, the capability of speaking is a very special gift. So that capability comes to us because of Mother Saraswati. Just imagine, move in COVID-19 time, how much struggle we are going through. To be in one place, if we can't travel out, etc., that itself is difficult. Now, if somebody is told you be in one place, you can't talk also. We will literally go mad. 10 days people, when they go for some camp, etc., and they don't speak, 11th day when they come back, whoever they meet, they had it. People need to pour, express, talk, communicate. So without the presence of Saraswati, this whole world would be dumb and deluded. Unmattavat sada. Insane people will go. So to that Mother Saraswati, we pray that please bless us with the capability to use this speech nicely, to use this speech to speak the truth, to speak positive ideas, not to gossip, not to backbite, and bless us with the capability of Vak Siddhi. See, people whose minds are pure, who stay firm on their commitment, they live a certain morally, ethically based life. What they speak will come true. That Vak Siddhi it is called. So that is a prayer. Ya Devi Vag Adhishthatri Tasyai Vanyai Namo Namaha. So this is the Sharada Stotram. We pray to Mother Saraswati to bless us with all these qualities that the Stotram has mentioned, and may we get supreme Brahma Vidya and realize our oneness with the Mother. Now we will be performing the puja of Mother Saraswati. ॐ शुक्लांबरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये। ॐ केशवाय स्वाहा। ॐ नारायणाय स्वाहा। ॐ माधवाय स्वाहा। ॐ गोविन्दाय नमः। ॐ अपवित्र पवित्रो वा सर्वावस्थांगतोऽपि वा यस्मरेत् पुण्डरीकाक्षं सबाह्याभ्यन्तरशुचिः। ॐ पृथ्वीत्वया धृता लोका देवी त्वं विष्णुना धृता त्वं च धारय मां देवी पवित्रं कुरु चासनम्। अथ दिग्बन्धः। ॐ भूर्भुवः सुवः। ॐ गंगे च यमुने चैव गोदावरी सरस्वती नर्मदे सिन्धु कावेरी जलेऽस्मिन् सन्निधिं कुरु। We take the sankalpa. ॐ ममो पात्र समस्त दुरितक्षय द्वारा श्री परमेश्वर प्रीत्यर्थम अस्मिन् शुभ दिने वसंत पंचमी शुभ अवसरे अस्मिन् शुभ मुहूर्ते श्रद्धा भक्ति ज्ञान वैराग्य सिद्ध्यर्थम विद्या विनय प्राप्त्यर्थम अस्माकं सहकुटुंबानां क्षेम स्थैर्य वीर्य विजय अभय आयुः आरोग्य ऐश्वर्य अभिवृद्ध्यर्थम समस्त दुरित उपशांत्यर्थम श्री सद्गुरु प्रसाद सिद्ध्यर्थम एवं काश्मीरपुरे शारदा मंदिर निर्माणार्थम ध्यान आवाहनादि षोडशोपचारैः श्री सरस्वती पूजां करिष्ये। ओम आगमार्थं तु देवानां गमनार्थं तु रक्षसां कुर्वे घण्टारवं तत्र देवताह्वानलक्षणम्। ओम वक्रतुंड महाकाय सूर्यकोटिसमप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। ओम नमस्ते अस्तु भगवन् विश्वेश्वराय महादेवाय त्र्यंबकाय त्रिपुरांतकाय त्रिकाग्निकालाय कालाग्निरुद्राय नीलकंठाय मृत्युंजयाय सर्वेश्वराय सदाशिवाय श्रीमन्महादेवाय नमः। ओम वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्। ओम गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। अथ ध्यानम्। या कुन्देन्दुतुषारहारधवला या शुभ्रवस्त्रावृता या वीणावरदण्डमण्डितकरा या श्वेतपद्मासना या ब्रह्माच्युतशङ्करप्रभृतिभिर्देवैः सदा वन्दिता सा मां पातु सरस्वती भगवती निःशेषजाड्यापहा। अथ देवता आवाहनम् आगच्छ देवदेवेशे तेजो राशे जगज्जनि क्रियमाणां मया पूजां गृहाण सुरसत्तमे। ॐ श्री सरस्वत्यै नमः आवाहयामि। अथ आसनं नानारत्नसमायुक्तं कातस्वरविभूषितं नासनं देवदेवेशे प्रीत्यर्थं प्रतिगृह्यताम्। ॐ श्री सरस्वत्यै नमः आसनार्थे पुष्पं समर्पयामि। पाद्यं गङ्गादिसर्वतीर्थेभ्यः मया प्रार्थनया हृतं तोयं मे तत्सुखस्पर्शं पाद्यर्थं प्रतिगृह्यताम्। ॐ श्री सरस्वत्यै नमः पाद्यं समर्पयामि। अथ अर्घ्यं नमस्ते देवे देवेशे नमस्ते धरणीधरे नमस्ते जगदाधारे अर्घ्यं न प्रतिगृह्यताम्। ॐ श्री सरस्वत्यै नमः अर्घ्यं समर्पयामि। अथ आचमनम् मन्दाकिन्यास्तु यद्वारि सर्वपुण्यफलप्रदं गृहाणाचमनीयं त्वं मया भक्त्या निवेदितम्। ॐ श्री सरस्वत्यै नमः आचमनीयं समर्पयामि। अथ स्नानीयं गंगा सरस्वतीरेवा पयोष्णीं नर्मदा जलैः स्नापितासि मया देवी तथा शान्तिं कुरुष्व मे। ॐ श्री सरस्वत्यै नमः स्नानं समर्पयामि। अथ अभिषेकः। So during the Abhishek, we will chant the Medha Suktam. Om Yaschandasam Rishabho Vishwarupah Chandobhyodhyamritaat Sambhabhuva Samendro Medhaya Sprinotu Amritasya Devadharano Bhuyasam Shariram Me Vicharshanam Jihva Me Madhumattama Karna Bhuri Vishruvam Brahmana Koshosi Medhaya Pihitah Shrutam Me Gopaya ओम शांति शांति शांति। ओम मेधा देवी जुषमाणा नागाद् विश्वाची भद्रा सुमनस्यमाना त्वया जुष्टानुदमाना दुरुक्तान् बृहद्वदेम विदथे सुवीराः त्वया जुष्टऋषिर्भवति देवि त्वया ब्रह्मा गतश्रीरुतत्वया त्वया जुष्टश्चित्रं विन्दते वसुसानो जुषस्वद्रविणो न मेधे मेधां म इन्द्रो ददातु मेधां देवी सरस्वती मेधां मे अश्विना वुभावा धत्तां पुष्करस्रजा अप्सरासु च या मेधा गन्धर्वेषु च यन्मनः दैवीं मेधा सरस्वती सा मां मेधा सुरभिर्जुषता गृस्वाहा आमा मेधा सुरभिर्विश्वरूपा हिरण्यवर्णा जगति जगम्या ऊर्जस्वती पयसा पिन्वमाना सा मां मेधा सुप्रतीकाजुषन्ताम् मयि मेधां मयि प्रजां मयि अग्निस्तेजो दधातु मयि मेधां मयि प्रजां मयि इन्द्र इन्द्रियं दधातु मयि मेधां मयि प्रजां मयि सूर्यो भ्राजो दधातु। ॐ सरस्वत्यै च विद्महे विधिवल्लभायै च धीमहि तन्नो वाणी प्रचोदयात्। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। अथ वस्त्रम् सर्वभूषाधिके सौम्ये लोकलज्जानिवारणे मयोपपादिते तुभ्यं वाससी स्वीकुरुष्व च। ओम श्री सरस्वत्यै नमः। वस्त्रार्थे पुष्पं समर्पयामि। अथ गन्धः। ओम श्रीखंडं चंदनं दिव्यं गंधाढ्यं सुमनोहरं विलेपनं सुरश्रेष्ठे चंदनं प्रतिगृह्यताम्। ओम श्री सरस्वत्यै नमः। दिव्यगन्धान् धारयामि। तदुपरि कुङ्कुमं समर्पयामि। अक्षताः अक्षतास्तण्डुलाः शुभ्राः कुङ्कुमेन विराजिताः मया निवेदिता भक्त्या गृहाण परमेश्वरी। ओम श्री सरस्वत्यै नमः। अक्षतान् समर्पयामि। अथ पुष्पं मनोहराणि दिव्यानि सुगन्धीनि प्रियाणि च मया हृतानि पुष्पाणि गृहाण करुणानिधे। ओम श्री सरस्वत्यै नमः। पुष्पमालां धारयामि। अथ अर्चना। So we will chant the 108 names of Mother Saraswati. ॐ सं सरस्वत्यै नमः। ॐ महाभद्रायै नमः। ॐ महामायायै नमः। ॐ वरप्रदायै नमः। ॐ श्रीप्रदायै नमः। ॐ पद्मनिलयायै नमः। ॐ पद्माक्ष्यै नमः। ॐ पद्मवक्त्रकायै नमः। ॐ शिवानुजायै नमः। ॐ पुस्तकभृते नमः। ॐ ज्ञानमुद्रायै नमः। ॐ रमायै नमः। ॐ परायै नमः। ॐ कामरूपायै नमः। ॐ महाविद्यायै नमः। ॐ महापातकनाशिन्यै नमः। ॐ महाश्रयायै नमः। ॐ मालिन्यै नमः। ॐ महाभोगायै नमः। ॐ महाभुजायै नमः। ॐ महाभागायै नमः। ॐ महोत्साहायै नमः। ॐ दिव्यांगायै नमः। ॐ सुरवन्दितायै नमः। ॐ महाकाल्यै नमः। ॐ महापाशायै नमः। ॐ महाकारायै नमः। ॐ महाङ्कुशायै नमः। ॐ पीतायै नमः। ॐ विमलायै नमः। ॐ विश्वायै नमः। ॐ विद्युन्मालायै नमः। ॐ वैष्णव्यै नमः। ॐ चन्द्रिकायै नमः। ॐ चन्द्रवदनायै नमः। ॐ चन्द्रलेखाविभूषितायै नमः। ॐ सावित्र्यै नमः। ॐ सुरसायै नमः। ॐ देव्यै नमः। ॐ दिव्यालङ्कारभूषितायै नमः। ॐ वाग्देव्यै नमः। ॐ वसुदायै नमः। ॐ तीव्रायै नमः। ॐ महाभद्रायै नमः। ॐ महाबलायै नमः। ॐ भोगदायै नमः। ॐ भारत्यै नमः। ॐ भामायै नमः। ॐ गोविन्दायै नमः। ॐ गोमत्यै नमः। ॐ शिवायै नमः। ॐ जटिलायै नमः। ॐ विन्ध्यावासायै नमः। ॐ विन्ध्याचलविराजितायै नमः। ॐ चण्डिकायै नमः। ॐ वैष्णव्यै नमः। ॐ ब्राह्म्यै नमः। ॐ ब्रह्मज्ञानैकसाधनायै नमः। ॐ सौदामन्यै नमः। ॐ सुधामूर्त्यै नमः। ॐ सुभद्रायै नमः। ॐ सुरपूजितायै नमः। ओम सुवासिन्यै नमः, ओम सुनासायै नमः, ओम विनिद्रायै नमः, ओम पद्मलोचनायै नमः, ओम विद्यारूपायै नमः, ओम विशालाक्ष्यै नमः, ओम ब्रह्मजायायै नमः, ओम महाफलायै नमः, ओम त्रयीमूर्तये नमः, ओम त्रिकालज्ञायै नमः, ओम त्रिगुणायै नमः, ओम शास्त्ररूपिण्यै नमः, ओम शुंभासुर प्रमथिन्यै नमः, ओम शुभदायै नमः, ओम स्वरात्मिकायै नमः, ओम रक्तबीजनिहन्त्र्यै नमः, ओम चामुण्डायै नमः, ओम अंबिकायै नमः, ओम मुण्डकाय प्रहरणायै नमः, ओम धूम्रलोचनमदनायै नमः, ओम सर्वदेवस्तुतायै नमः, ओम सौम्यायै नमः, ओम सुरासुरनमस्कृतायै नमः, ओम कालरात्र्यै नमः, ओम कलाधरायै नमः, ओम रूपसौभाग्यदायिन्यै नमः, ओम वाग्देव्यै नमः, ओम वरारोहायै नमः, ओम वाराह्यै नमः, ओम वारिजासनायै नमः, ओम चित्रांबरायै नमः, ओम चित्रगंधायै नमः, ओम चित्रमाल्या विभूषितायै नमः, ओम चित्रमाल्य विभूषितायै नमः, ओम कांतायै नमः, ओम कामप्रदायै नमः, ओम वन्द्यायै नमः, ओम विद्याधर सुपूजितायै नमः, ओम श्वेताननायै नमः, ओम नीलभुजायै नमः, ओम चतुर्वर्गफलप्रदायै नमः, ओम चतुरानन साम्राज्यायै नमः, ओम रक्तमध्यायै नमः, ओम निरंजनायै नमः, ओम हंसासनायै नमः, ओम नीलजंघायै नमः, ओम ब्रह्मा विष्णु शिवात्मिकायै नमः, ओम ब्रह्मा विष्णु शिवात्मिकायै नमः, ओम ब्रह्मा विष्णु शिवात्मिकायै नमः, ओम श्री सरस्वत्यै नमः। अर्चनां समर्पयामि। ओम वनस्पतिरसोद्भूत गंधा ज्योगंध उत्तमः आग्रेय सर्वदेवानां धूपोऽयं प्रतिगृह्यताम्। ओम श्री सरस्वत्यै नमः। धूपमाघ्रापयामि। अथ दीपः। ओम दीपं गृहाण देवेशे वर्तियेता समन्विता अंधकारेण नमस्तुभ्यम् अज्ञानं संवर्धय। ओम श्री सरस्वत्यै नमः। दीपं संदर्शयामि। अथ नैवेद्यम्। ओम भूर्भुवस्सुवः। ओम तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात्। ओम भूर्भुवस्सुवः। ओम तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात्। ओम नैवेद्यं गृह्यतां देवी भक्तिं मे ह्यचलां कुरु। ईप्सितं मे वरं देहि नित्यतृप्त नमोऽस्तु ते। ओम श्री सरस्वत्यै नमः। नैवेद्यं निवेदयामि। ओम प्राणाय स्वाहा। ओम अपानाय स्वाहा। ओम व्यानाय स्वाहा। ओम उदानाय स्वाहा। ओम समानाय स्वाहा। ओम ब्रह्मणे स्वाहा। मध्ये मध्ये स्वादोदकं समर्पयामि, हस्तमुखप्रक्षालनं समर्पयामि, पुनराचमनीयं समर्पयामि. अथ मङ्गलनीराजनम्. So we will do the arati. Om. न तत्र सूर्यो भाति न चन्द्रतारकं नेमा विद्युतो भान्ति कुतोऽयमग्निः तमेव भान्तमनुभाति सर्वं तस्य भाषा सर्वमिदं विभाति। बोलिए श्री सरस्वती माता की जय। ओम यानि कानि च पापानि जन्मान्तरकृतानि च तानि तानि विनश्यन्ति प्रदक्षिणपदे पदे। ओम श्री सरस्वत्यै नमः। प्रदक्षिण नमस्कारान् समर्पयामि। ओम श्री सरस्वत्यै नमः। मङ्गलनीराजनं समर्पयामि। ओम श्री सरस्वत्यै नमः। ओम योपां पुष्पं वेद पुष्पवान् प्रजावान् पशुमान् भवति। चन्द्रमा वा अपां पुष्पं पुष्पवान् प्रजावान् पशुमान् भवति। य एवं वेद योपामायतनं वेद आयतनवान् भवति। ओम श्री सरस्वत्यै नमः। वेदोक्तमन्त्रपुष्पाञ्जलिं समर्पयामि। ओम श्री सरस्वत्यै नमः। दक्षिणार्थे पुष्पाणि समर्पयामि। श्री सरस्वत्यै नमः। समस्तराजोपचारान् समर्पयामि। ओम आवाहनं न जानामि न जानामि विसर्जनं पूजां चैव न जानामि क्षमस्व परमेश्वरी। अंतहीनं क्रियाहीनं भक्तिहीनं सुरेश्वरी। यत्पूजितं मया देवी परिपूर्णं तदस्तु मे। अपराधसहस्राणि क्रियन्ते अहर्निशं मया सोऽहमिति मां मत्वा क्षमस्व परमेश्वरी। कायेन वाचा मनसेन्द्रियैर्वा बुद्ध्यात्मना वा प्रकृते स्वभावात् करोमि यद्यत् सकलं परस्मै नारायणायेति समर्पयामि। नारायणायेति समर्पयामि। मया पूजया सर्वात्मकः श्री सरस्वती ओम तत्सत् ब्रह्मार्पणमस्तु। अथ उद्वासनं यथास्थानं प्रतिष्ठापयामि। दिग्विमोक्षः ओम वसुमरो। ओम पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ओम शांति शांति शांति। ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। All right, so that concludes our Asanta Panchami program. Thank you everyone for joining in. May the blessings of Mother Saraswati be with all of us. Hari Om.